All right, friends, it's Ian. I'm back with with another video on our favorite YouTuber, the gym slave, fitness gym lifting slave, JasonBlaha. Well, let's see what he has to say today. We're going to review this video. Periodization has never been required for maximum strength. Maximum strength. Yeah, strength is all relative, man, in this world. All right, let's review this video.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about understanding strength development. And when I make these statements, I have...
Wow, he wants you to understand strength development. I love this, man. It's funny, man. I love these influencers online. They absolutely know absolutely nada, and I mean nothing, because how the hell can somebody who took drugs call themselves a bodybuilder? Think about this. If you're fucking taking drugs and you call yourself a bodybuilder, how the fuck could you call yourself a bodybuilder if you're a drug addict? How the hell could a drug addict call himself a strength athlete or a fucking bodybuilder or anything when you did it fake? It's artificial. It's all fake. You understand me? You faked it. You took drugs. You're a drug addict. It's like a drug addict saying that. It's like a guy who's on crack saying, "Hey man, I'm so fucking intelligent. I fucking know everything." What the fuck? You're on crack, bro. You don't know anything. These people, they're stupid. In order to learn how things really work, you've had to have experienced it in the natural world. Now, if you've never experienced these things in the natural world and you did them fake, you understand me? You took drugs. You took drugs to fake it. What the fuck would you know? How the hell would you know how anything works?
literally taking clients using these sort of methods.
People ask me, they go, "Man, you're a fucking genius." They write me stuff, people online. I still have running clients that I have running clients, actually real running clients from my old channel, because I did these running videos. They fucking hired me to train them. Can you believe that? And I don't consider myself a coach or a trainer. I simply they just wanted my help. I don't know. They want to know what I know. They want to hack my brain. You get it? And my knowledge and my experience, because it's in the natural world and not in the fake world. Get it, bro? Yeah, man.
It's taking them all the way up to very elite levels. Elite levels meaning, over 600 pound squats with no reps.
Yeah, taking them to over 600 pound squats. They're gonna squat and lift 600 pounds if they're taking drugs, because they faked it. They didn't do it naturally. You understand me? Look at the Trend twins. They're benching 500. All these people taking drugs, they faked it. What they're benching, what they're doing, it's all fake. Their muscles are fake. Their strength is fake because it's based on drugs. They didn't do it naturally. They didn't build it up naturally. You understand me? In the natural world. So how the fuck could they know how it works if you take a shot and you're benching 500? You understand me? And you're looking like the Michelin Man.
The 700 pound deadlift range. So when I say that, that is the sort of strength we're talking about.
Yes, the strength you're talking about. Have you seen his body? He's gonna, in this video, I'm pretty sure he's gonna talk about size is gonna equate to strength. Well, size does equate to strength, hypertrophy, but there's more than one type of hypertrophy. Not all will equate to strength. Look at my community section. I just posted his pictures. Does he look to you? This is what happens when people fake it. That's what happens when they fake it, man. You understand me? They look like that. Yeah.
Same thing, bench presses up over 400 pounds. Keeping in mind, these are not fat lifters. So when I make that statement, I'm not talking about 300-pound fat guys either. I'm talking about guys well under 300 pounds. Now, obviously, they're all over 200, but not always.
Man, this guy is really puffy. He's on carbohydrates again. He's eating carbs. He's very puffy. He's just buffed.
By much. So this idea that we need all this periodization is not necessarily true. And keep in mind, a lot of the periodization that's out there is done, how do I put this, to impress.
I love when he walks and he shows you his back. He's suffering from kyphosis. That hunchback that he has sticking out his back, sticking out. This is a condition he has. It's called kyphosis. Yeah. He has so many conditions.
People with the knowledge of the coach, but it is largely voodoo. Most of it's voodoo. And a lot of it is simply there to keep the lifter
It's voodoo. It's voodoo, man.
busy and distracted and seeing some progression on certain movements while they get you bigger. And we need to again be clear there. Right? For strength development, we only need to do singles. So in other words, on the neuromuscular end, quite frankly, if you...
This is interesting when he says strength development. Let me ask you a question. If you grow myofibulars, a lot of them, and you get bigger through myofibular growth, will you not be stronger? Yeah, okay. You're physically stronger now. Naturally physically stronger. Naturally, because you have more myofibulars. So you're going to be naturally physically stronger. Okay. If you lift a heavy weight and you're small, but you lift a heavy weight and then you repetitively lift it and you're able to lift heavier and heavier and heavier, are you stronger? Are you physically stronger? You're stronger at that lift, right? You got stronger at that lift. Did you get any bigger? No. You never got any bigger. You never got naturally bigger. You just got better at lifting something. But did you get bigger? See, a lot of guys will complain, well, I got a stronger, but I never got a bigger. Okay, why did you get a stronger, but you didn't get a bigger? But what about a guy who got a bigger, and then he got stronger? He got bigger, but he got stronger. And I'm not talking about sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I'm talking about myofibular growth. He got myofibular growth, he got stronger. When people get their newbie gains, do they get stronger? Yeah, they automatically get stronger. Everybody does. Everybody who gets newbie gains gets stronger. Because it was based on accumulation of these nuclei, and you got damaged because everybody knows that unaccustomed activities of any type, when you're unaccustomed to doing them, causes muscle damage. So you got a relative amount of muscle damage, which there was a repair and a remodeling. So now they become resilient from being busted a second time, of course. Boy, you got stronger. You definitely got stronger. You're going to say, when I leave the gym and if I atrophy or whatever, I get these newbie gains. But then again, some people never got the newbie gains. And then, well, they came back to the gym, they put on these gains again really fast. But those gains could be false. They could be sarcoplasmic. They may not be the mass in the myofibular. See what I mean? You may have massed up the myofibulars, of course, through this hypertrophy, but it could be faked. Maybe you never got enough damage, or you didn't get any. And some people ease into their workouts in the beginning. That's what usually happens.
If your goal is to get really strong at a 1 rep max, which is usually how we define strength, training maxes will do that. And anything around 90% will do that.
You know, he does powerlifting, which is based on concentric movements. But I'm telling you from my experience, and I'm telling you, and even in science, eccentric exercises are superior for mass and strength gains than concentric movements. I'm telling you the truth, and they're easier. Here's the thing. Eccentric exercises will always be easier than doing concentric, because you're working against gravity. And when it comes to eccentric, it's the opposite. It's the downforce. You're more on a downforce than on an upforce. You understand me? That's why you could do more on a downforce than you could do on an upforce. It'll wear you out a lot faster doing an upforce than doing a downforce. You could do as many downforces as you want. Sorry about that. I got cut off there. So you could do as many downforces as you want than doing up forces. They'll wear you out. The up force will always wear you out, but the down force is a lot more superior. Believe me, it's a lot more superior.
Around 90%.
Here's another thing. You could do a lot more with eccentric movements. You could do eccentric negatives. That's one thing. You could do short range, many repetition sets, short range eccentrics, right? So there are many modalities that you could do with eccentrics, which will equate to more mass gains and strength than you would ever get with a concentric movement. See what I mean? It just is all around superior.
We'll do that. And I'm sorry, people who are like, no, you have to go. No, not necessarily. And rep work doesn't improve max strength better than singles does. Why? Because you're practicing doing
Rep work does improve because it's based on eccentric.
a single. Okay, and I would go so far as to say that you can consistently do singles at around the 90% range with perfect form and perfect bar speed and not get beat up. Okay, not get beat up. And I do understand when you've seen Dave Tate and other people point out that, well, it is about the straining, but that's if you're going to do true max effort. But notice that everyone who has you do true max effort, they rotate lifts. And that's done to keep the injury rates lower and to make sure that your neural drive isn't high, right? They're making sure that you're...
If you're getting injured, it means that you're weak. You're weak if you're getting any injuries in lifting. In a gym, if you're getting injury and saying, oh, we get injuries and all this, and you're even like, how should I put it? Like, oh yeah, look, this is cool, I'm getting injuries. If you're like that, if you're that type of person, you're crazy.
Not efficient at those movements. You haven't practiced that exact pattern. Okay, because if you start doing that on the same exercises, we start running into problems. You don't want to do a true 1 rep max on a movement that you're used to doing. So
why do you need to do a 1 rep max? Why do you need to do a 1 rep max? Look, I'm going to prove to you really quickly because these videos are stupidly long. I don't know if this will work, but let's see. All right, so here's an example. This is just one example. There's so many examples I could bring out, but I'm going to bring them all out, okay? This would get boring for me. Where's this report? There it is. Even when you type up in Google and look at the bottom, it's NCBI again, because somebody's going to say he's using Google. He's using Google. Yeah, I'm using Google, man. But guess what? It's NCBI at the bottom here. Yeah. Eccentric training. This is from NCBI, by the way. Eccentric training improved isometric strength significantly. Oh, it did. It improved strength significantly. 0.05 more than eccentric training. How about that? It improved more. They actually put these people to the test, and they improved more. Eccentric training improved concentric strength. Oh, it even improved the people that did eccentric training. It improved their concentric strength by what? 14%. Wow, that's incredible. P 0.05 and increased eccentric strength significantly. Interesting, isn't it? More than concentric training increased concentric strength. How about that, eh? How about that? Isn't that interesting? Bet you didn't know that. None of you did. None of you. Bodybuilding is superior in every way to powerlifting. Powerlifting will never be superior to bodybuilding. Ever. And I mean fucking ever for all you knobs out there. Your fucking powerlifting garbage and all that cough. Garbage. Here. And I'll prove it in this. The effects of eccentric versus concentric resistance training on muscle strength and mass in healthy adults, systematic review and meta-analysis. Of course, there is a longer version, NCBI. This is just the PubMed one I'm bringing out here. I put in my community section, you can read it, it's there. The aim of systematic review was to determine if eccentric exercise is superior to concentric exercise in stimulating gains in muscle strength and mass. You want to know what they found? Of course it's superior. It's always superior. Let's see, where are we? In addition, eccentric training also showed a trend towards increased muscle cross-sectional area measured with resonating something. Look, here it is. Subgroup analysis suggests that the superiority of eccentric training to increase muscle strength and mass appears to be what? Related to the higher loads developed during eccentric contractions, because you could take on more heavier loads than you could take on doing concentric. That's right. You can actually move heavier loads doing eccentric. You're probably not even understanding how is that possible, because you can't fathom in your little brain. Your little brain can't calculate that, can't fathom that. The problem is you're just never doing it in a gym. Here's the problem. A lot of you people, you're scared. You want to look good in a gym. If you want to look good, if you want to look pretty, then you'll never exceed this using this eccentric movement to lift heavier loads. You can lift extremely heavy loads doing eccentric exercises. Do you understand me? Yeah. So yeah, it's the hardest to do the concentric is it's not the best, and you'll get more mass. So eccentric training to increase muscle strength and what? And mass appears to be related to the higher loads developed during eccentric contractions. The specialized neural pattern of eccentric actions possibly explain the high specificity of strength gains. Ooh, high specificity of strength gains after eccentric training. Further research is required to investigate the underlying mechanisms of this specificity and its functional significance in terms of transferability of strength gains to more complex human movements. Well, like I said, I didn't read the whole thing here. I mean, it's going to tell you the whole bunch of things here. Eccentric training performed at high intensities was shown to be more effective in promoting what? Increases in muscle mass measured as muscle girth. In addition, muscle damage. In addition, eccentric training also showed a trend towards increased muscle cross-sectional area measured with this whatever computer stuff, whatever. So there you go, man. And here, when they tell you this section here, meta-analysis showed that when eccentric exercise was performed at higher intensities compared to concentric training, total strength and eccentric strength increased more significantly. It's a carry to make you even stronger. Listen, eccentric exercise will make you even stronger at doing your concentric stupid lifts. These stupid power lifters. Go to hell. Huh. So yeah, man. And there's more there. I can talk about more. You can even look at your coach Blaha here. Here's your coach. 30 years in the working, coach. Here's your coach, man. Check it out. There he is. Look, 30 years in the making. Look at this guy. That's him. I don't know, 2008 or something, way back in the past. Has he changed much? I know. He's going after the aesthetic look. Can you imagine 30 years on gear, and this is all you have to show for 30 years being on gear? This is the problem with all these fake lifters. Do you understand how to explain to you what fake lifting is? You people out there, I'm trying to educate you, help you. I'm trying to help you. Yeah. This is his food. That's his food. Can you imagine tofu and spaghetti? Spaghetti and tofu. And then he has this mustard here because he's hiding the hot dogs. He bought the mustard because he eats hot dogs, bro. You understand me? Hot dogs are putrid. It's garbage food processed. You are what you eat. You are what you eat, and it'll reflect on your body. It will reflect in your physique what you eat. If you eat quality food, animal, unprocessed animal food, you will look good. But if you eat these processed weird foods, then you're going to look like this and like that. Get it, friends? You understand through your brain? Now let's see what else he has to say.
Water at max on a movement that you're used to doing, such as your traditional classic lift. They need to understand this.
Yes, they need to understand this, yes. Yes, they do need to understand that you're a waste of time.
Will carry over. You do
There's no such thing as periodization. It's made up by some dude.
not have to get used to handling a weight to lift it. All right, that is complete nonsense. Oh, I do this overload training, so I get used to holding whatever 350 pounds in my hands. Yeah, that's not necessary. That has never been necessary. And they don't have to lift a certain amount of weight, at a certain...
Think about it. Why is your coach doing bodybuilding now? Why is he bodybuilding? And he missed the boat. It's already too late for him. The regenerative property of bodybuilding is based on stem cells, on the satellite cells. If they age and they get old and you diminish them, you've exhausted them, then your regenerative capacity to build more muscle will go down. You have to, if you don't use it, you lose it. Remember that thing in, PubMed, I read for you guys, NCBI, satellite cell, use it or lose it? Yeah, the lose it or use it or lose it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. You'll get myogenic decline and you'll get more senescent cells. And so you're not activating it through these injuries. The injuries are what activate the satellite cell to split, divide, and increase in number. I'm not talking about activating it so it could just proliferate and then they die. You understand me? Every time you come to the gym as a chronic lifter, you're activating them so you could diminish them through oxidative stress hypoxia. Do you understand the difference? Yeah. So this like repetitive lifting, this power lifting, it's waste of time. It's aging him. He's got man boobs. He looks so aged. It's incredible. He's not putting on any muscle lifting. He could take as much TRT as he wants and eat a bunch of glycogen, that garbage food, all that carbohydrate that he keeps talking about and sugar, the vegan diet. He can do that and put on these fake sarcoplasmic muscles to try to fake you guys out. But we're not stupid. We're not stupid anymore. We're all getting educated out there. We can figure out what these phonies are doing. You understand me? We can figure out how these phonies are putting on that fake mass.
Time you know that you're getting stronger and able to do it, lift 90% of that.
We're on to you, Coach Blaha, and the rest of your influencers, and I'm educating them. You understand me? I'm educating the people out there. I want them to know what the fuck sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is. It's fake, and so are steroids. They're fake, and you can't call yourself a real bodybuilder. You're not, because you're fake.
That way, like if you're like, okay, I know that I'm probably getting close to strong enough to lift 500 pounds on this lift at a competition. All right, come in and do 450. As long as the 450 feels like not a true max, you're good. You'll last longer. And everything else outside of that from strength, quite frankly, is just gaining muscle mass. Gaining muscle in the appropriate places. Gaining muscle mass overall. Now, if you're in a weight class, improved body composition is the best thing you could do. So how do we gain muscle? We know how to gain muscle. Has gaining muscle ever required...
We know how to gain muscle. How do you gain muscle, Blaha? Sarcoplasmic or myofibular? How do you gain muscle? Artificially? How do you gain it fakely? It's easy. Carbohydrates create artificial muscle growth. What else creates it? Steroids, because they don't build muscles. Now, what builds real muscle? Myofibulars. What will help build those myofibulars? Eccentric exercise and food will build myofibular growth. But eccentric will never, never cause damage to the myofibular, ever. Because it's based on lifting something heavy, what you would call strength training.
Hypertrophy. And the same thing, you start talking field athletes who don't necessarily...
And if concentric is based on what you would call strength training, the proliferation of motor units and these androgen receptors for the androgens to bind to them, then if that's what it does, then it doesn't say anything about muscle damage. Then what damages muscles? Eccentric exercises. Do eccentric exercises make you stronger? Yes. Do they equate to more muscle mass? Yes. How do they do that? Through mechanical tension, called muscle damage. Mechanical tension of the eccentric movement will cause muscle damage, thus giving you superior growth and strength. Of course, it's natural.
Need to do a one or a max.
It's natural strength. It's natural mass.
I've definitely seen some great coaches point out, it doesn't matter how you get a lifter strong enough to squat 500 pounds.
It doesn't matter how you get a person to squat 500. It does matter. It does matter. It does. It does matter.
Doesn't matter where they did a triples with 450. It doesn't matter if they did 10 rep sets. If they've built the same amount of muscle, you're not going to see a difference on the playing field. In other words, as long as the musculature and the overall strength is the same, you're not going to see a performance difference out on the playing field, a football field, a rugby field, whatever. It doesn't
You will see difference.
matter. It's the muscle mass and the ability to produce the force through that muscle that's carrying over out there.
It does, but what if you have less muscle mass and more sarcoplasmic?
Obviously, their sport-specific training is more important. Okay, sport-specific training is more important. But if you have a lift,
A guy who's born with, let's say you have an ectomorph and a mesomorph. We know that mesomorphs are born with more muscle fibers than ectomorphs. They have more muscle fibers, okay? Will a ectomorph be stronger than a mesomorph? Like naturally? No, of course not. Never. Never will an ectomorph ever be stronger than a mesomorph. And why is that? Because the mesomorph has more muscle fibers. So what would be your goal to get strong? Get more muscle fibers.
you've all tested and they're capable of squatting 500 pounds, irrespective of whether they use 10s or 3s to get there. The performance is going to be the same. So what do we do outside of that? We gain muscle, and we know how to gain muscle. We know how to do hypertrophy training.
We know how to gain muscle. We know how to do hypertrophy training. Yeah, show me. Tell me. Yes, tell me how.
10 to 20 sets a week per muscle group.
That's how you do it? 10 to 20 sets per muscle group. Yeah, okay.
Preferably done, with moderately higher reps, but I don't care if you used anything between the 5 and the 20 rep range to build it. At the end of the day, as long as they get bigger, if we maximize hypertrophy,
Build them as long as they get bigger. Well, I don't know any muscles that get bigger lifting weights in the gym other than sarcoplasmic, where you're drawing glycogen for every gram of glycogen. 3 grams of water being drawn between skin and muscle into the muscle, bro.
strength potential goes up, and that's talking strength potential on a playing field. Well, it's the same thing when we talk about your 1 rep maxes. But coaches can talk all day long about we did this 3x3 or this 5x. Doesn't matter. Because what's really going to make you strong is getting bigger. Hypertrophy, hypertrophy, hypertrophy.
What if it's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? Will you get stronger if you get bigger through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy? No, because it doesn't equate to strength. It's artificial muscle growth. So if you just get bigger through hypertrophy, he never says what type of hypertrophy, but I'll educate you people out there. There's more than one type of hypertrophy. So let's just say the 2 hypertrophies. We got myofibular and sarcoplasmic. Which one do you think is artificial and which one do you think is real? See what I mean? You understand me? What if you get big through just sarcoplasmic? Are you stronger? No.
And you should be doing it year round, because if we come over to that point, if we know
Which one do you think will get you the fastest? Will get you big really fast? Sarcoplasmic. It'll get you big really fast. Why? Just is not controlled by the MND size limit, nor is it controlled by follistatin myostatin, because it's an energy source, ATP. Now, can you get fat? Can you get fatter? Can you get fat like faster than you can put on real muscle? Of course you can, because it's not controlled by what? It's an energy source. It's not controlled by follistatin myostatin, nor is it controlled by MND size limit. Now, what is muscle controlled by? It's controlled by MND size limit, so it has a control. MND size limit, and it's controlled by what else? It's controlled by myostatin, follistatin, right? Okay. See you understand what I'm trying to explain to you people out there? It is tightly controlled. That's what makes it the difficulty. The bar is extremely high.
size equals strength potential, you better not.
Size equals strength potential. He can confuse that size with the eccentric movement. You could get a false sense of strength. In other words, you lifted something heavy, and so you got a proliferation of these motor units with the androgen receptors for that maximum force production, like it says in science. Remember, myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength but not mass of the limb muscles. So if you were to grow, your muscles were to blow up through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, you have a sense a false sense of strength. You didn't get stronger because you got bigger. You got stronger at lifting something. You got stronger at lifting something through androgen receptor strength, these proliferating these motor units. You understand me? But if you get myofibrillar growth, you got physically stronger. You understand me? That would be different. That's the difference. So you have a false sense of that you're strong and you can go out there and tackle people with your weak body. That's why a lot of these fake bodybuilders and fake powerlifters on steroids, they lose to natural arm wrestlers. Natural arm wrestling are naturally physically stronger, these arm wrestlers. The natural guys, you know. Oh, yeah, a lot of them now are cheating too. Now they're taking steroids and stuff to bolster that strength, to try to increase it. But a lot of what they built in the beginning was definitely natural. They'll take out the strongest power lifter in the world, or they'll take out their arms and any strong bodybuilder. These fake, I'm talking about fake people. See what I mean? They'll take out any of these fake people because it's a fake sense of strength they built. It's fake, and their mass is fake, okay?
Have weeks other than maybe right before you compete to where you're not maximizing hypertrophy. You need to be doing it all the time, and then if you need maximum strength to go up.
I know somebody's going to talk about MMA fighters though, but they're fighting, they took steroids and he got this guy and everything. Yeah, it makes you more aggressive than the average person. So if you're more aggressive, you're more gung-ho to jump in there and do crazy shit. Why do you think they gave it to the Nazi party when they were fighting in World War III? They would inject them with steroids and send them out there to fight and give them weird drugs to numb them from the pain or whatever. They give them drugs to numb them from pain. They give them steroids to go be aggressive and fight out there. Yeah, you go out there and get killed. Go out there and destroy yourself, get killed with drugs. Yeah, it's the whole point.
Heavy singles at 90% will absolutely do that all day long.
Why did Maradona take cocaine to perform in soccer? Why did he take it? Did it make him stronger? No, I don't know if it made him stronger, but it definitely made him more aggressive. Maybe it did something chemically, some chemical shit there to him. Who the hell knows?
And I mean, coaching goes beyond this. Some people say, well, how could you give that information for free and still expect to get coaching clients then? Because there's a lot of nuance to coaching and keeping people down.
He's giving out coaching advice for free. I wouldn't take anything from him for free, okay?
And keeping their head straight, keeping their technique correct, giving them the exercises that's going to balance everything for them.
Yeah,
You'll always have.
I'll keep their technique straight, this, that. I'll put them on the straight and narrow path. You must be joking, man.
People who need your services. And the same thing, accountability.
Never. I remember being in Gold's Gym in Mexico way over 20-something years ago. These people were looking at me. I just walked around like a brute, bro. And I remember seeing this old man training people. I was like, what the fuck? He was a frail little old man. And I was like, I would never take advice from you, bro, because body does the talking. Now, you can weed out the fake people from the real people. It's not hard to notice somebody that's actually naturally big and strong than a person on steroids. They're always going to have this cellophane look on their skin. They're going to have these lines. They're going to look very steroidal. They're going to look drugged up. A natural person doesn't look like that. They look natural. They look totally different. And even if they're brutally big and natural, you'll see they look natural. You can equate big size and say, well, he took steroids because he's really big. That doesn't necessarily mean that natural person took any drugs because they're really big. And anyways, a lot of it too is hard to discern one person to the other, the fake from real. You can't tell the difference between sarcoplasmic and myofibrillar growth. The only way you'll ever figure it out is the amount of strength the person carries to myofibrillar to sarcoplasmic. You understand me? You can kind of figure out that way, but even then, it's all dependent. It's all relative. It's difficult, like I said. To tell the difference between a fake Rolex and a real one is really hard these days, okay? Yeah.
Ability, mindset of results. It's all a factor. Okay.
But there's no value in fake, and yeah, there's no value in fake, man. Has no value, bro. Does nothing.
Every single time. But again, people people have
And there's more benefits in real than in fake.
made the idea of maximizing strength way more complicated than it needs to be. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say.
Thank God, man. That was getting me tired. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Periodization has never been required. I don't know. Not that I know of. It's fake. It's made up by men. See you in the next one, friends. Ciao.